The present perfect tense. 5 out of 5. A very commonly used tense. How do we structure it? Have or has plus the third form of the verb. Obviously has, when you want to talk about something singular like he, she, it, and have I, we, they. When do we use it? Please focus. We use it when we want to talk about an event that happens just before the present time. Focus. This event happened in the past, but it has just happened like 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. So we use it to talk about an event that happened in the past, but it is still related to the present time. So this is the first use. The second one is when you want to talk about ongoing life experiences. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by ongoing life experiences. I'm going to show you some examples so you understand. Let's say, for example, you're a parent and you saw one of your kids watching TV and playing video games. Ali, why are you watching TV? And then your kid would say, what do you want, Mom? I've just finished my homework. I've just finished my homework. What does that mean? They finished the homework in the past and now they are free. So it is related to the present, and that's why they are playing video games. So this is the first example. Another one. When you say, I've lost my keys. Now, this one, I want you to focus. You can say, I lost my keys. Like you can use the past simple, but the meaning is going to be slightly different. What is the difference? Focus. And this is what I mean by ongoing life experiences. When you say you have lost your keys, this means you lost them in the past and you're still looking for them. Like, for example, let's say your boss called you in the morning and you're late to work. Where are you? We've been waiting for you. Oh, sorry, boss, I've lost my keys. I'm looking for them. So the result of losing your keys is still affecting you up until now. You've lost them and you are looking for them. You can also say, I haven't fixed the problem yet. I haven't fixed the problem yet. Yet, which means up until now, but the problem can be fixed by someone else. It's an ongoing life experience. It's not finished. The life experience is still happening. But when you say, I didn't fix the problem, this means no one else fixed the problem. A disaster happened. Yeah, I didn't fix the problem. So when you say, I haven't fixed the problem, this means the problem is still happening now. Someone else can fix it. When you say, I didn't fix the problem, no one else fixed the problem and you can't even fix it now. Another example on ongoing life experiences. When you say, I have visited France 3 times. This one is a little bit tricky because you can simply say, I visited France 3 times. So what is the difference between saying, I have visited and I visited? When you want to talk about your life experience, most of the times we use the present perfect. Because when you say, I have visited France 3 times, this means you can visit France for the 4th time and the 5th time because you're still alive. This means you might go there again. But for example, when you say, my grandfather visited France 3 times, you can't use the present perfect here. Because let's say your grandfather passed away. He's not living with us anymore. So you can't use the present perfect. He can't visit France 1 more time. My grandfather visited France 3 times. That's it. Finished. But because you're still alive, you can say, I have visited France 3 times. Listen to this example. I have been sick for 2 days. What is the difference between saying, I have been sick for 2 days and I was sick for 2 days? I was sick for 2 days. This means you were sick for 2 days, but now you're good. Now you're not sick anymore. And these 2 days could be a year ago. I was sick for 2 days in 2015. But when you say, I've been sick for 2 days, this means you started being sick 2 days ago, and up until now, you are still sick. So this is the difference between the present perfect tense and the past simple. The past simple is something that happened in the past and finished, has no effect on the present time. The present perfect, it's something that happened in the past, but it is still affecting you up until this time. The past perfect, I'm going to give it 3 stars. 3 stars means people do not use it that often. Does that mean Isa shouldn't be using it? You can use it, obviously, but you can get away without using it. When I say get away, this means people might understand you even without using it. How to structure the past perfect tense? Had plus the third form of the verb. Eat, ate, eaten. Eaten is the third form of the verb, and it's always had. How to use it? Focus. We use it to talk about an event that happens before a specific time or event in the past. Isa, we did not understand anything. We use this tense to talk about 2 events that happened in the past. The one that happened first, we express it using the past perfect. 2 events happened in the past. The one that happened earlier is the one that takes the past perfect. In simpler words, the past perfect is the past of the past. Again, the past perfect is the past of the past. 2 events happen in the past. The one that happened earlier takes past perfect. Let me give you an example. My wife had left when I arrived home. My wife had left when I arrived home. We have 2 events. The wife leaving, this is an event. Arriving home, this is another event. So 2 events, both of these events happened in the past. Since both of them happened in the past, we don't know which one that happened first. That's why we use the past perfect, to make it clear to the listener or the reader that this is the event that happened earlier. In this case, this means the wife left and then Nathan arrived home. So when Nathan arrived home, there was no one waiting for Nathan. I want you to tell me the difference between this one and this example that I'm going to tell you now. When we say, my wife left home when I arrived, here I'm using the past simple for both events. My wife left when I arrived. In this case, it is not very clear which event happened earlier. This could mean after I arrived home, my wife saw me, she escaped. Could be, right? But this one makes it clearer that my wife doesn't even want to see his face. She's leaving already before even he's arriving home. Big difference in terms of the meaning. Another example, the show had already started when we arrived. Same thing. We have 2 events. The show starting, this is the first event, and then arriving is the second event. Another example, and focus here. We use the past perfect in the third conditional as well. A conditional is if statements, yeah? If you study, you will succeed in these ones. So we use the past perfect in the if clause in the conditional. Let's read this example. If you hadn't crashed my car, I wouldn't have paid $3,000. Like crashing the car happened in the past and paying the $3,000 also happened in the past. So 2 events happened in the past, crashing the car and paying the money. Which one happened earlier? Crashing the car. So that's why we're telling him, if you hadn't crashed my car, because it's the event that happened before paying the $3,000. So this is the third conditional. Now let me tell you a tip for you because I love you. In the first 2 examples, you do not really have to use the past perfect. You can use the past simple if you change one word. You can simply say, my wife left before I arrived home. Or I arrived home after my wife left. If the meaning is very clear and we know which event happened before the other one, there's no need to think about the tenses that much. The future perfect. If you've understood the past perfect, this means you can understand the future perfect easily because it's the exact same concept. But instead of talking about the past, we're talking about the future. And this is also the same rating because it's almost the same tense, but obviously different timing. So 3 out of 5 as well, like the past perfect. The structure will, have, plus the third form of the verb. And it's always will and it's always have. Never has or had, because after will, we should have the first form of the verb, which is have. When do we use it? When we spoke about the past perfect, I told you, we use it to talk about an event that happens before a specific time or event in the past. I replaced the word past by the word future. So we have two events. Both of these events are happening in the future. The one that's happening first is the one that takes the future perfect. We have two events happening in the future. The one that's happening earlier takes the future perfect tense. And this one could be an event or could be a point in time. Let me give you an example. In December this year, you will have graduated. In December this year, you will have graduated. Let's say now it's October. So December is in the future. And your graduation party is taking place in November. So we have two events, or one event and one specific point in time. Your graduation party, which is taking place in November, and then a point in time in the future, which is December. Your graduation party is happening before the point in time in the future. So because it's happening before a specific time in the future, we are using the future perfect tense. This one is popular, not very popular, but if you understand it, it's going to help you express your ideas in a clearer way. Another example so you understand. By the end of 2022, everyone will have been vaccinated. Now it's not 2022. Now it's 2021. We're saying that by the end of 2022, like December 2022, which is a specific point in the future, this is the time in the future, but before we reach that time, everyone will have been vaccinated. Like before we reach the end of 2022, everyone will be vaccinated. Or to be grammatically correct, everyone will have been vaccinated. The future perfect. I don't think it's hard. If the past perfect was the past of the past, this is the past of the future.